Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking one of the most intense, hidden, and frankly fascinating multi-year battles taking place entirely in the background of the internet. We are talking about a highly resilient tech community going head-to-head with enterprise cloud infrastructure. And what are they fighting over? A completely free server. If you've ever tried to claim a free tier cloud instance and just walked away empty-handed, you are definitely going to want to pay close attention to this.
Okay, so let's just dive right into it. To really understand why this battle is even happening, you have to understand the prize. 24, I just want you to think about that massive number for a second. Because in the world of free cloud computing, getting 1 or maybe 2 gigabytes of RAM is considered pretty generous. But 24 gigabytes of RAM offered for absolutely zero cost? I mean, that is practically unheard of. It's an unbelievable specification that immediately hooked thousands of developers, tinkerers, and students all around the globe.
These staggering specs really illustrate exactly what's at stake here. We're talking about 4 ARM processors, a massive 24 gigabytes of RAM, a 47 gigabyte boot volume, and 10 terabytes of outbound bandwidth every single month. But honestly, the most important part of all of this is the bottom line. Price? $0. Forever. Because unlike other major cloud providers whose free tiers usually expire after about 12 months, Oracle's always free resources are designed to literally never expire. It's basically the ultimate holy grail of free hosting.
But, there's always a catch, isn't there? Enter the antagonist of our story. You configure your server, you hit that create button with all this excitement, and boom, you're hit with the dreaded out-of-host capacity error. Your server requests just outright fail. This specific error has stopped countless users completely dead in their tracks. Because the free server is so powerful, the demand vastly outstrips the supply, especially if you're in regions like India or Germany. Oracle simply runs out of physical space on their free tier racks.
Now, this scarcity actually sparked a totally hilarious philosophical debate over on Reddit. You had these enterprise developers scratching their heads, watching an absolute army of teenagers hoarding enterprise-grade cloud resources. There was genuine outrage that people were using these powerhouse servers just to host free Minecraft servers for their friends. But, of course, the counter-argument quickly followed, right? It's first come, first served. And hey, a 24 gigabyte server is actually pretty perfect for heavily modded Minecraft. It's just a classic clash of use cases.
Because the front door was blocked by that massive capacity error, an underground resistance began to form. Instead of just throwing their hands up and giving up, users turned to JavaScript. They started pasting in a snippet of code that relentlessly spammed the Oracle API. The community started openly sharing these really simple automated auto-clicker scripts. The idea was you'd open your Chrome developer console, drop the code right in, and the script would just click that create button every 30 seconds until a slot finally opened up. It was this totally brute force solution to an incredibly frustrating problem.
And that sparked a massive, absolutely fascinating cat-and-mouse arms race. 4 years ago, a basic 30-second clicker worked perfectly. 2 years ago, when individual server domains started filling up, the community got smarter and wrote loops to cycle through different availability domains automatically. Well, then Oracle started fighting back. 6 months ago, they began randomizing the CSS classes of the buttons just to break the query selectors in the scripts. And today, Oracle has actually hidden the entire creation button inside a secure iframe and put strict server-side rate limits in place. But it's crazy. Every time Oracle patched the interface, some Reddit user would post a brand new updated script just hours later.
And the roadblocks, they just kept coming. Oracle deployed the 500 internal error, which completely confused any scripts that were looking for specific text responses. Then they implemented aggressive session timeouts and auto logouts, meaning you couldn't just leave your script running overnight anymore. You'd wake up to a logged out screen. And most recently, they rolled out this confusing UI update called the Redwood Preview toggle. It completely changed the page layout, tripping up months of script development, until users finally realized they just had to toggle it off in the bottom corner of the screen.
Eventually, some users just got completely fed up with the entire scripting war and found an alternative strategy. They call it the fast pass lane. The trick here is to upgrade your free account to a pay-as-you-go billing account. By simply putting a credit card on file and changing your account status, Oracle actually prioritizes your server requests. The secret sauce is that as long as you strictly configure your resources to stay under those always free limits, Oracle won't actually charge the card. But, of course, you run the very real risk of unexpected charges if you accidentally provision a paid AMD shape or, say, exceed the storage limits.
Section 1. Surviving the setup, claiming and keeping your prize.
So let's say you finally win. Whether you ran a script for 3 weeks straight or you took the fast pass, you've got your server. Now, if you make a mistake right here, you could lose your instance and get sent right back to the very end of the line. During the setup wizard, there are 3 steps that are absolutely vital. First, you must select an ARM-compatible operating system like canonical Ubuntu 24.04. Second, under Shapes, you have to select vm.standard.a1.flex. Do not choose any shape with an E3, E4, or E5 in the name. Those are going to cost you. And step 3, I seriously cannot stress this enough. Download your SSH keys immediately when you're prompted. Oracle will only show you this private key one time. If you skip this or you lose the file, you won't be able to log into your brand new server and you'll have to terminate the instance and start that agonizing wait all over again.
Okay, so once you're safely logged in, you're probably going to want to host a website or an app, right? Well, this is where almost everyone gets tripped up. The highly confusing 2 layers of firewalls concept. If your app isn't loading, it's probably not broken, it's just blocked. Layer 1 is the operating system firewall itself. You have to use server commands to open IP tables for whatever specific port you're using. But wait, that's not enough. Layer 2 is the Oracle Cloud Interface Firewall. You actually have to log back into the Oracle Web Console, dig around to find your virtual cloud network, and add an ingress rule to the security list for that exact same port. Both doors must be unlocked or your traffic is going absolutely nowhere.
Now that the doors are finally open, what should you actually do with this powerhouse? Well, here are some post-setup best practices straight from the community. First up, allocate 2 GB of swap space. In a really wild twist of absurdity, these instances don't actually come with swap memory configured out of the box. So if your massive 24 GB of RAM ever somehow maxes out, the server will just hard crash. Next, you can install tools like the Anti-Gravity CLI for this really cool AI-powered terminal experience. Or you could deploy heavy workloads like Docker containers, or even set up a personal WireGuard VPN. Oh, and lastly, the absolute golden rule. Never, ever click the big orange upgrade banner at the top of your console unless you are fully ready to start paying.
The appeal of having this free resource is so incredibly strong, it's basically become a major point of pride within the tech community. In fact, in an Ultimate Flex, the very guide that details this exhaustive setup process, the one explaining the scripts, the complex firewalls, the workarounds, that entire blog is itself proudly hosted on one of these elusive, always free Oracle VPS instances. It's just a perfect, self-sustaining loop of internet tech resourcefulness.
Which brings us to a final thought for this explainer. We've explored the insane specs, the crazy arms race of JavaScript auto-clickers, and the really intricate setup required just to maintain this system. But it really begs a serious question. If you're spending hours tweaking code in a browser console, leaving a computer running scripts for weeks on end, and battling server rate limits just to bypass a digital queue, is it really free? Or is the ultimate cost of free simply the time you spent trying to claim it, all just to avoid a $20 monthly hosting fee? It's a genuinely fascinating trade-off between time, money, and the sheer thrill of solving a puzzle. Thank you so much for joining me, and hey, happy hosting if you can manage to get a slot.